Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaded Path. So for the last few weeks, I've been completely stuck on the just peyote stitch rings. Been coming up with some different designs for those. So that got me to thinking about some other projects that I would really like to kind of tackle. But to tackle those projects, you really need a good understanding of the different three-dimensional peyote shapes. Now, if you want some great, references for these three-dimensional shapes, I'll show you some of my absolute favorite books to go by. This is Diane Fitzgerald, Shaped Beadwork. Diane is really the master of shapes in the peyote stitch world. Another one that she has out is called Shaped Beadwork and Beyond. Okay, and then a third one that I really like, hang on, let me grab it, is Mastering Peyote Stitch by Melinda Barta. Now, if you do not have these books, I highly recommend going to your local bead store, your local bookstore, and if they don't have it, hit up Amazon, because these, to me, are 3 books that are essential in a beader's library. Like, if you ask me, okay, what are my essential books that I need? These 3 would definitely be in that library. So I'm going to show you my version of a 3-dimensional shape. Today, we're actually going to start with a square. Just a simple, easy square, just like this. The cool thing about these squares, you can make them into charms, you can make them into earrings, necklaces, whatever you want. So you have lots of options for these. Another great thing about them is they use very little seed beads. Now, I'm going to be using Delica beads. Diane uses Delicas in her designs. Melinda uses regular size 11, so you can use either one. I like to use the Delicas, and I like to use 2 different colors. I like to use a main color, which here is a lot of the darker colors, and then I like to use the accent colors, which are going to be in each corner. This just kind of helps me be able to see a little bit better where I'm going to be at any one given time. So like on this one, the red would be my main color, and the gold is my accent color. So today I'm going to be using, again, a size 11 Delica. I'm going to be using Palladium as my main color and a matte black as my accent color. Now, you can use all the same color if you want to, but it's going to make it a little bit harder for you to pay attention to where you're at in the design. So I'm going to start out with 1 yard of thread, and it's best if you use a size 11 or 12 needle. If you bump up to a size 10, what's going to happen is you're going to bust some of the last Delicas that you're trying to zigzag through. So that is a problem that you're going to have to deal with. So I prefer a 12, but an 11 tulip will work also. So I'm going to go ahead and get my mats set up, and we'll get started. The first thing you'll have to decide is which one you want as your accent color. I'm going to be using my matte black for my accent color. And what color you want as your main colors. I'm going to be using the Palladium. Especially if you purchase the pattern from me or you purchase a kit, because I talk in main color, accent color terminology on these patterns. So I'm going to thread on 1 accent color and 7 main color. Okay, so I've got 1 accent, 7 main, so 2, 4, 6, 7. I'm going to do that 4 total times. Okay, so that's 3. And once you get the beads threaded onto your thread, you want to double count and make sure that you have 7 in each little set here. And what you're going to do is you have two options. You can either bring these down and go through all the beads again, or you can just tie them into a circle like I'm doing. The thing is, you don't want your circle really tight, because if you do it really tight, you're going to have a hard time making the shape. So you want a loose circle. So you can see I've left a little bit of room here. I'm not doing them so tight together that I can't get through my beads. And I'm not going to put too much of a knot there, because I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go back through the last bead that I threaded on. So the last bead is going to be a main color bead. So I'm going to come right back through that same bead. Now I actually like to work upwards, so I'm going to flip it like this. So the first thing I'm going to do, zoom in here so you can see, I'm going to pick up a main color. I'm coming out of one, I'm going to skip one, and I'm going to go through one. Main color, skip one, go through one. Main color, skip one, go through one. Now the black, when I get to this black, it lets me know that I'm at a corner. So the corners you do a little bit differently. So on the corners, this round, we're going to be picking up 2 of our accent colors. Skip one accent color and then go through the next main color. Thread on one main, skip one, go through one. One main, skip one, go through one. One main, skip one, go through one. And then I'm to a black bead, so that lets me know that I'm in a corner again. So for the corner on this round, I'll be picking up 2 of the accents and going through the next main. So one main, skip one, go through one. One main, skip one, go through one. One main, skip one, and go through one. Now again, I'm at a corner. So if you can guess, we're going to pick up 2 of our accents. I'm going to skip the accent here in the corner and go through the next main. And I'll just continue. Main. Okay, so I'm back at a corner again, and my tail is right here, so I know that I am back to the beginning. I could tell that anyways because I can see that this is the first bead that I threaded on for the round. So since I'm to this corner, I'm going to thread on my 2 accents, and I'm going to go through the next main. Now this is going to be the very first bead that I started this whole thing off with. Now I have to step up by going through the first bead I threaded on in this round, which is going to be the one right above it, diagonally. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this little tail. If you want to stitch yours through, you can, but I'm just going to get rid of mine. So now this is what your piece will look like. We're going to continue in peyote stitch, so we're going to pick up a main color and go through the next main color that's sticking up. Pick up a main, go through the next sticking up. Now you're going to pick up a main and go through the first accent bead of that set of 2. Thread on 2 accents and go through the very next accent bead. So when you pull it, you make them sit side by side like they should. They're going to sit on top of each other just like that. So we'll continue with a main color. Now I'll pick up a main color and go through the first accent of that set of 2. Then pick up 2 accents and go through the very next accent. And I'm going to continue doing this around the circle, or around the square. See, I'm so used to saying circle. Okay. I'm going to continue this until I'm back to this bead right here. This is the last bead for our row. So I've gone all the way around, and I've gone through the last bead of my row, and it's time to step up. So to step up, I'm just going to go right through the first bead that I threaded on for the round. Now I'm going to continue in the same manner. I'm going to work another row identical to the row I just added, being sure to put my 2 accents in each corner. So at the end of the row, once you step up, this is what your piece will look like. Now we're going to add one last row to this side, except for in the corner, we're only going to put 1 of our accents. So to do that, we're just going to work here on threading on our main colors, just like we did in the previous rounds, except for, just like I explained, when we get here to the main, or our little accent color, we are going to pick up 1 accent and go through the next accent. So it gives us a little point. And we're going to do this all the way around. Now, when you finish this round, you are going to stitch to where you're coming out of any of the beads here in the center. For me, I'm going to come through a main color, which is right after one of my accent colors. So I'll be exiting like this one, this one, this one, or this one. Okay, but we're done with the first side once we finish the round, and we're going to work on the second side. Now that I finished the last row for this side, I have stitched to the inner circle, just like I said I would. And again, I'm coming out of the main color right here after my corner. So this side's going to be a little bit different than the first side. This first row, we are only going to be picking up main color beads. So I'm going to be picking up a main color twice. So one here, and just going through the next bead, sticking up. Your corners are going to be a little bit different, because what you're going to do in a corner is you're going to pick up a main color, go through your accent bead, and then pick up a main color and go through the next bead that's sticking up. Okay, so we don't have any accent beads that we're actually going to be adding on this round. The biggest, I guess, pain, I should say, about this round is the fact that you have to deal with your thread getting caught on the corners. So again, I'm back to a corner, so I'm picking up a main color, going through the accent, and then a main color and going through the next main color that's sticking up. So we're going to do this all the way around. Now once you're back around to the beginning, like I am here, I'll pick up my main color and go through the last main color of the row, which is this bead right here. But then I'm going to step up to the first bead of this new row, which is this one. So if you can get through both of them at the same time, great. If not, that's okay too. So yes, I can get through both those beads, so I'm going to go ahead and do that and pull that through. So far, this is what your piece will look like. We're going to work another row, so we're going to pick up a main and go through a main sticking up, pick up a main and go through a main sticking up. Now, I'm at a corner. So this time, we're going to pick up 2 accent beads and go through the very next main color that's sticking up. So that puts my little corner in there like I need. Let me grab me some more palladiums here. So you just keep going until you get to the next corner. Just picking up 1 main color and going through the next main color. And when you get to that corner, we're going to pick up 2 accent colors and go through the next main color that is sticking up. So again, I'm back at a corner, so it's 2 accents, and I'm going to go through that next main there that's sticking up. So you can see that this is a pretty quick process for this piece. But again, this is like the 12th one of these little things I've made, so I feel like I have been making them. Alright, so I'm back here to where I started, and I know that because I've got to put a bead right here, and I'm going to go through the last bead for the row, and then the first bead of the row that I'm just adding. So going to go through those 2 beads at a diagonal and pull this through. Thus starts another row. So pick up a main and go through the next main that's sticking up. And now this time I'm going to pick up a main and go through the first accent bead of that set of 2 right here. Then, as you might have guessed it, we're going to pick up 2 accents and go through the very next accent. And sometimes they'll get twisted and you have to make them lay like they're supposed to. You have to be the boss of those Delicas. So here's what we're going to do at this point. We're going to continue in this round. And then once you finish this round, I want you to step up and do another round exactly like this one. Okay? So another round, adding our main colors and then our 2 accent colors in each corner. So I've gone all the way around, adding this second round that I was telling you about, and as you can see, they line up nicely. Now you don't want to do another round putting 1 bead at each point, because if you do that, both pieces are going to look identical and you're not going to be able to zip it up. So doing it this way will allow you to be able to zip it up and the piece looks seamless. So right now I'm coming out, I stepped up at the end of my row and I'm coming out of an up main color here on the left hand side. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through an up bead on this right hand side. It's the next little bead and pull that together. Now I'm going to the next bead to the left, then to the right. Now this time when I come to the left, that's going to be an accent color. So I'll go through it. Then I'm going to go through the single accent color on the right and then back to the accent color on the left. And you'll want to pull these tight so that it'll start to close it up. Now you'll just continue to zigzag the piece and close it up all the way around. But don't tie off your thread because I want to tell you a couple of things before you start tying off threads and finishing these pieces. So once you have the piece completely zipped up like I have here, then you're ready to actually make it into something. So one option is you can work at connecting them. You know, put some beads in between them or whatever you want. You know, you can make little peyote stitch connectors and connect them, you know, on the sides, whatever you want to do. But for the sake of what I want to do later on, I'm going to show you how to make a quick and simple pair of earrings. You have two options. The first option is you can come off of this bead right here and make you a little circle of seed beads and tie it off and add your ear hook. The other option is you can take the pliers and a eye pin like I've got here, and the eye pin will fit perfectly through that size 11 Delica on one of the corners of your piece. Then if you want to, you can add a bead or add whatever you want to, and then make the loop to attach it to your ear hook. So if you're going to do that, you'll just make your loop. And obviously, I hope that you would know that you're going to tie your thread off. I've not tied this one off yet because I'm just basically showing you this. But you can clip that, and then you would attach your ear hook, and you'll have a very simple earring. But this is just going to be one component in a project that I'm going to have coming up in several weeks. So I'm more worried about you understanding the structure and how it comes together. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make the squares in the three-dimensional peyote stitch. Now we're going to do a little bit differently with these kits this time. What we're going to do from now till quite a few weeks, I'm going to be teaching you all the different three-dimensional shapes. I have an idea of what I want to do at the end of this series. And if I do earring kits for these, not every single person is going to want a pair of earrings. Plus, the pattern is a very much step-by-step pattern. And it's going to add a lot of cost if we actually kit it. So Lori, Sammy, and I have come up with a really great alternative for you. What we're going to do is we're going to sell almost like the earring kits that we're doing for the 12 Days of Christmas promotions. They're going to come in little 4x4 plastic bags. We're going to sell kits this time that are going to have enough to make 2 squares in a kit. So you're going to get the beads, a needle, and enough thread to do 2 of these squares. We're going to be able to sell these at a really great low price. So that way, if you want to purchase the pattern, you can find that on our website, which is offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Or you can just buy the beads, watch the video, and you're set. It's up to you what you want to do with these. Completely up to you. But we're going to have several different colors to choose from. And I promise you, at the end of this whole series, once you know how to make all the different shapes, I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy what I'm going to show you to do. And also, through the week, if you are not on our private Facebook group, Kelly Dale Off the Beaded Path, you need to go join, because during the week I'm going to be showing you some different things that I'm doing with the different shapes after I teach you each week. So again, you'll be able to find those at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, as well as the pattern, and we will have printed patterns available in store if you need us to mail you a printed pattern. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.